what? He's such a happy fella about love. Love is a power. Let me tell you, love is a. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? Now, many of y'all don't understand what Al Green is talking about in that song. He's talking about God, because God is love. Anyway, but that's not why I like the song. I like the song because, it's up tempo and it's got, man, that's Al Green. Who can't like Al Green? With grits and all. Okay, sorry about that, Al. Ladies and gentlemen, I am taking a trip, and we want to talk about how, a lot of people need somebody to lean on because, that's just the way it is. And sometimes you need somebody to lean on. All right. That's going to be in my background, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to have that taking us down this hill because, yeah, there's an investment that I am about to invest in that has to bring revenue to the organization. And so I have to go ahead and facilitate this. That's one thing. I also have had quite a few things on my mind today, and I want to share those things with some of y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to take a minute for people to really, 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 really get the whole thing about promissory notes when delivered to the Federal Reserve, how it operates as payment. Go back and understand what the word procure means, or a procurement. When you deliver your promissory note to the Federal Reserve and they accept your promissory note by giving you a loan, what they call is a loan. Oh, sorry about that. Let's get rid of that. I touched the screen without wanting to touch the screen. I'm driving. You just call on, in other words, they accept your promissory note, ladies and gentlemen. That is them accepting it as collateral and security or payment. Now remember, the key is understanding that promissory notes is included in the phrase any note. Go watch the videos that was just done where Congress defined it as any notes, and the Supreme Court in Rees versus Ernst & Young highlighted what any notes includes, and Congress highlighted what any notes include. They are universally uniformed. That's why Congress made the so-called HJR 192. It had nothing to do with the gold clause. And that's why everybody gets so thrown off by the gold stupid clause. They got you guys focused on gold so much that you're not even focused on the title. The title is an act to assure the uniform value of coins and currencies of the United States. They made any notes currencies of the United States. Well, their value has to be uniform. So what is the value? Par, P-A-R. What is par value? Face value. Upon their face. Whatever the instrument says it is, a $5 bill is its face value. That's why there has never been associated with any denomination of currency in the United States an actual value. A dollar is worth a dollar. A $5 bill is worth a dollar. A $10 billion bill is worth a dollar. It's uniform. The value is uniform. Like I said, it's going to take people a while to understand because they've been indoctrinated through television and other things as to what is supposed to be the alleged value of currency. And because they have this misconception of what is or what is not currency, this is where we are. This is the state of our world. But when people pay attention and they understand that Congress, when they use the word including in the legal definition of currency in the United States, that word including is the thing that lets you know it includes promissory notes, bills of exchange, bankers' acceptances, trade acceptances, drafts. Pay attention, because none of those items are issued by the bank. Okay, go ahead. No bank issues the bill of exchange. No bank issues a promissory note. You're the issuer of the promissory note. You're the holder in due course. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want y'all to know. You know, I'm a true believer that if you get anything out of life, you gotta put up with what? You got to put up with the toils and strife. Yeah, that's just the way I feel, y'all. That's my boy. Tell him, G. You're pushing my love a little bit too far, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby didn't get all the credit Bobby deserved. Bobby, I know there was a lot of talk about him and Sam Cooke and Sam Cooke's wife and all of that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, keep your feelings and your opinions to yourself. They don't matter. They only matter to you. They don't matter in reality. It's just that simple. All right, let's get back to the conversation, because the conversation is the thing. Because it's absolutely, positively, necessary. This whole promissory note being the currency, being the medium of exchange, being accepted as payment, a remittance at par. That's why you hear people using the phrase remitted at par. It's payment for its face value. Okay, there are no debts in the United States, and that's what people don't realize. When you use the promissory note to acquire or purchase something, pay attention, that is your purchase. Your promissory note was your purchase. That they're supposed to take that and redeem it at the treasury. But hold on. What about the private person? Well, the private person can do the same thing. The private person can do the same thing. All right? They just need to know how. Sorry, I got a vehicle in front of me, and it's one of those trucks. And this is one of those work trucks that, when they're doing work along the highway, this is one of those trucks. And so what I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to pass the truck up. And the way I'm passing him up is crossing a double yellow line. And the area that I was passing in, there was no other traffic. But the speed limit is 55, and he's doing 40. And he could have been doing more, but he's not in a rush. So I had to leave him in the dust, literally. All right, back to the conversation. There are a lot of people out there who are still not going to understand what's going on when it comes to currency. Oh, by the way, he's doing 55, 60 now. Okay, because I'm doing 60. He was doing 45. I should be pulling away from him. He's now catching up to me. Okay, I don't understand drivers, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not in a rush. That's why I've got my music going. This trip is going to be the same amount of time. So what? I get there 4 minutes early by going faster. That doesn't make sense to me. 4 minutes is not going to make a difference. Ain't nobody having no baby. The niece and the nephew. Ain't nobody having no babies. So I ain't got to rush. There is no reason to rush. Oh, by the way, he's not going to be able to keep that speed anyway. He's big. He's the size of a dump truck. And so he's too big to be climbing this hill, maintaining that speed. So I don't know why they do that stuff. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, once people understand that their promissory note, by record, they have proof that the Federal Reserve member bank received and accepted their payment. Okay, go back and read the Federal Reserve Act. It literally says from the congressional record, the actual wording of Section 401, subsection 18, paragraph 6, specifically says that when it's received by the Federal Reserve agent, it is received at par and it is redeemable. They are to redeem it through the Treasury, not you. That's payment. That's proof of payment. You no longer have the obligation. The obligation now becomes the Federal Reserve. You don't owe them nothing. They accepted the obligation. The obligation transferred to the Federal Reserve. When people finally get this, When people finally understand how simple it has always been, then they're going to start suing the Federal Reserve, and they're going to start suing these banks for defrauding them by claiming they owed money when they didn't, because they are supposed to follow the Federal Reserve Act. They are bound by the Federal Reserve Act. But Dorothy, y'all. Hey, Dorothy, tell them what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Dorothy. Dorothy, such a long time. Let them know, Dorothy. I've been keeping it low, y'all. But Dorothy, this is my girl. Dorothy Moore, everybody. Just a thought, just a thought. Just a thought of you. Turns my whole world misty blue. Dorothy Moore, ladies and gentlemen. That song has been remade by so many people. Monica did a very good job. Well, anyway, back to the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Once people understand that the promissory note, when received by a Federal Reserve agent, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, including credit unions, when it's received by these organizations, ladies and gentlemen, it constitutes payment. All you guys got to do is, we gave you the pieces. In the videos, they're 56 minutes long. Even in this video, I'm giving you the pieces. I explain it in that, and I show it to you. Don't just go saying it, understand it. Go over these videos talking about this subject specifically till you understand it, and then stand on your square, and nobody will be able to challenge you. We're going to be doing a couple of updates with the district court at DC. Ladies and gentlemen, the district court at DC has made it a point to point out that we have not served the Attorney General, we have not served the Federal Reserve or the Federal Reserve Board. We did not serve them. And so what we told district court, shut the up. No, seriously, we had to tell them to shut the up. Why? Because it doesn't matter what they say. Their rules don't even apply when it comes to service. It's the local rules for the local court, the Superior Court at DC. And their rules allow for electronic signature confirmation because that's called an alternative method of service. It's in the rules for the district court. All you guys got to do is look it up. You're going to get a copy of all the documents because we're going to be uploading all the documents. But what we're trying to do is we need to get you to understand this is going out to these fools now. That's why I'm taking my time, getting there. I don't want, nothing to happen to me. Anyway, I'm taking my time because that's all I have to do in town today is take care of the investment and then that's it. I'm going to get me some juices because I got to get me some juices. And other than that, this is life. So, ladies and gentlemen, while they are playing these little procedural games, we're going to let them. I'm not going to argue with them. All I'm going to do is constantly hit them in the eye. You keep hitting them until you get to the white meat. I'm going to keep hitting them in the eye with their rules, with the law. I don't care what the threats are. We're going to dismiss the case, then dismiss it, mother. Seriously. If you're going to dismiss it, dismiss it. So that we can appeal this and get you on out of the way because you failed to follow the law. You're supposed to know the law. You are incompetent to handle this matter. You need to go. You need to recuse yourself. No, this is too simple of a matter that you didn't get. Now, mind you, I've already told them we tried to give them a way out. We tried to give them a way out. So let me explain something to you guys that many of you didn't know. This was not filed as a class action. Pay attention. This was not filed as a class action. Everybody else who sent their communication to the court, don't worry about whether the clerk of the court received it or sent you something back. They don't have to. The fact that you sent it to the court to be put into this matter, you become part of this matter. You become a petitioner. Guess what? They're supposed to be communicating with you directly. See, the court has two options. Either declare it a class action. We don't have to ask them. Either declare it a class action or understand that you guys are already incorporated under the Disenfranchised Americans, go ahead, look at the caption of the complaint. We included you anyway. We just needed you to do that so that the clerk of the court would be required to notify you as a plaintiff in every single communication it sends to anybody. But you have to notify us too. That's right. But we have an agreement that I notify you electronically. Ha ha! I get to put it online. Ha ha! Gave you the link. Ha ha! Do the videos. Ha ha! Again, let me do what I do. Oh, by the way, I've done so many things that other people haven't done before. And like, take our Chapter 11, bankruptcy, with an individual operating as a sole proprietor and removing it to federal district court. Okay, highlighting to everybody and their grandmama that the order from the presiding judge of the district court authorizing the removal of the case was unconstitutional. District court cannot authorize you to go to Article 1. They don't have the authority, and Congress cannot force you into an Article 1 court. That's what makes it unconstitutional. It's illegal. Just that simple. But you have to understand the law in order to understand how illegal it is. And they've been doing this for decades. This has been going on since the 70s when they created that piece of crap known as the bankruptcy court. Well, the district court is so overwhelmed. They got so many petitions. They need help. Who gives up about what they need? This is about your rights. This has nothing to do with whether or not they needed help. They need help. Then create more courts. Okay, and start following the law. Stop violating people's rights, and nobody will need any type of help. Because then everybody will be happy because everybody's doing what everybody's supposed to do. But because everybody ain't doing what they're supposed to do, that's why we at where we at. You know, find a reason. Find a reason. Find a reason. Sorry, I told y'all this is how I roll. This is how I take my trips. Well, not all the time. See, sometimes I have assemblies from Jehovah's Witnesses that are on recording, and I'll listen to those on the way up and down. But I've been listening to that all night, and so it's an Earth, Wind, and Fire moment. That's all. Al Green, Dorothy Moore, you know, that type of morning. Yeah. All right. Back to you all so that you all get what's going on. You really do need to understand the simplicity of everything. There is no money. Okay? The simplicity of everything. There is no money. They stopped using money and went to paper. Sorry, I have an idiot that just pulled directly out in front of me, and I know he saw me. And he literally just pulled out directly in front of me. And they wonder why people are shooting at them on the road. They wonder why people are shooting at them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going downhill at 60 miles an hour. He pulls out of a driveway in front of me. Now, his vehicle is pretty fast, but there was no reason for that. And now he wants to do 65 miles an hour. Oh, the problem is, he pulled right behind a truck. There was a truck in front of me doing 65 miles an hour. And he pulled right behind him and actually hit his brakes after he did it. So this is the ignorance that I have to put up with. This is why you're never in a rush, ladies and gentlemen, because of idiots like that. And he'll think that he didn't do anything wrong. But of course he did something wrong. The moment he pulled in front of me and had to hit his brakes, and he didn't have to hit his brakes because of the truck. He hit his brakes because he saw me behind him. And now he's doing 65 miles an hour. So yeah. Well, here's the thing. I was watching the news the other day, and they talked about, and we're going to get back to the subject in a moment. They talked about a guy, I think it was Maryland or one of those states, and he was getting off work and headed home. And apparently, this guy ended up doing, and I don't blame it on the guy. We don't know what happened. Nobody knows. There are no cameras. But he ended up getting shot at, excuse me. The guy who got off work ended up getting shot at by another guy. Ladies and gentlemen, he died. Got shot several times, not just once or twice. They call it road rage. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not rage. It's people saying they've had enough. That's all. People saying, look, I got things going on and you're not taking what I got going on into consideration. You're acting like you're the only person on the planet. That's what's going on. It's not road rage. People are saying, no, you don't get to treat me that way. I'm tired of people treating me that way. Now, I'm not saying they're justified. I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying that anything. I'm just saying, people, take your time. You don't have to be in a rush. You don't have to be insistent on your rights. It's not about you. Stop taking things personally. Okay? And then when you do something, acknowledge, hey, man, my bad. I did that. That was wrong. Okay? What I did was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. That's my fault. Okay? But don't do it in a cynical way. Oh, man, my bad. Shoot. Man, look, let me tell you something. You're stupid. That's the reason why I did it. But, I was wrong for doing it, and I shouldn't have seen you do that right there. And 5, 10, maybe 17 bullets might not be enough. Okay? People ain't got time for your not taking their feelings into consideration. Now, mind you, I understand that even though a side effect of my disorder doesn't allow me to have empathy or sympathy, I still understand people have feelings. So I still am able to take that into consideration. Whether or not I feel for them, Shaka Khan, is another story. But the fact that I realize they have feelings, that's all that matters, is that I have the wherewithal to know that they have feelings. And that's what the important part about everything is. Realizing that people have feelings. It really is that simple. You can't get more simpler than that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this whole trip is almost 60 minutes, and I'm not where I need to be. I'm just into the part of the trip where in about 4 minutes I will get a signal, a phone signal, and then I'll have a signal from that point on. The whole time I've been talking, there is no phone signal. So if anything were to happen, let's say I go off the side of a mountain or something, then unless somebody sees it, unless there is smoke, and I hope there ain't no smoke, because that means I get to be yelling and screaming, talking about, oh, that hurts, oh, that hurts, oh, that's too hot, because that'll be burning and fire and, burning to death, and can't do that. That wouldn't be fun. So hopefully that will never happen to anybody, but other than that, if you don't find yourself in an area where cars come up and down this road all the time. You already heard me talking about the different cars that I've run into thus far. So this is a well-traveled road, but the only problem is if you do so happen to get in an area where nobody looks down over the cliff to see that's where you at. And yes, the police do periodically on their little patrols get out of their vehicle and look over the side to see if there are any cars. Yes, they are required to do that here. And in other mountainous areas, the police will actually look to see if there has been accidents or other vehicles off the road. So there you go. But there'll never be anything like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, go back and understand what legal tender is. Look at the word including. It's always been there. They did that on purpose so that you all would not recognize, because they know that you guys don't understand law and you don't understand interpretation of law or statute. Okay? It's a statute. It's not the law. But they also know you guys don't understand that. And thus, that's why they've been able to get away with this junk for so long. So you guys have got to understand what your promissory notes and the value of your promissory notes, especially when accepted by the Federal Reserve. Ain't nobody else Ain't nobody else telling you this, but I is. All right, so we're gonna talk later. I'm gonna have to let y'all go because we're gonna take a caravan in the future. But for right now, I gotta go. Are you ready?